What's up, Dosers? My name's Jed. I'm from the Palma Valley campus. I work with the youth out there. And just thanks so much for having me today as we dive into God's Word. I love this series that we're in, Words to Live By from the book of Proverbs. It reminds me of my childhood growing up where we would read a proverb a day as they line up with the days of the month. And there's just so much godly wisdom that we can tap into and use in our lives on a daily basis. And the one we come to today, it's a good one. So let's read it really quick. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20 says, "Whoever walks with the wise becomes wise, but the companion of fools will suffer harm." And I just want to do a couple quick, really easy definitions of the words wise and fools. Wisdom, biblically, looks a lot like knowing the right thing to do, the godly right thing to do, and doing it. And foolishness is maybe not knowing the right thing and not doing it, or more accurately, what we see in today's world is knowing the right thing to do and not doing it. These two definitions help us get a good picture of what the proverb writer is talking about here. And when we look at it, we have this picture of our lives. And when we walk around in counsel, you've heard the phrase, I'm sure, of show me your 5 closest friends and I'll show you your future. It's this picture of, man, the people we walk with are so paramount to our direction, to where we're going, to what we're doing, to how we're living. And I think one of the best pictures that I can do for an analogy is this. Jesus in the New Testament would say we're the salt of the earth. We kind of give the seasoning, how we live our lives, how we interact with people. We're the salt. And sometimes what happens is we surround ourselves with people. And sometimes those people are wise and sometimes those people are foolish. But what happens is when we surround ourselves with the foolish people, it's like this. This is my water jug. And so what happens is we surround ourselves, and let's say it's foolish people in this scenario. And we're making choices and we're deciding how we're doing and what we're doing. And life starts to happen. Things start to change. And slowly, we start to diminish. We start to change. Our decisions become less and less wise and they become more and more foolish if we're surrounded by foolish people. And pretty soon, what we initially were has been deconstructed. It's been changed. It's not what its original intent was anymore. And I know you're probably looking at me and you're saying, yeah, but the water's salty. Just ignore that for this illustration. The reality is we've become something different. We've become a sum of what surrounds us. See, foolishness has a tendency to break down wisdom when it's the overwhelming course of what's being poured into our lives. When the overwhelming rhetoric is a foolish response or a foolish answer, it becomes very natural that we start to respond foolishly. And that's why this proverb is so important. It says they'll suffer harm. Many years ago, I was working at an auto parts store. And in that spot, if you've ever been in the auto world, you know that there's a lot of harsh people. There's a lot of people who respond harshly. There's a lot of people who just don't care about people, and it's hard to be around. And when I was working in this shop, many of the people there were just very harsh. They had a quick temper. They didn't choose the right thing to do on a regular basis. So when I interacted with customers, I tended to have a more harsh, quick, hot-tempered attitude towards people because it's what was surrounding me. And on the flip side, when we talk about wisdom, for instance, if I wanted to get better at singing, my wife, she's a wonderful, excellent singer. She's got a beautiful voice. I would want to lean into her to get better at singing. And this is what this is talking about. Who we surround ourselves with is so important. Where do we get our counsel? Is our counsel from the fools, and all of a sudden, what we're trying to be on godly wisdom has slowly been diminishing and pouring away, and now we're responding more foolishly? Or are we tuning in to godly counsel, to godly wisdom? People who say, Jed, that's not the right decision to make. You're walking away from God. You're choosing something that's opposed to his nature and who he is. Who we surround ourselves with is very important. And what I don't want you to hear is to create a Christian bubble, to make yourself in a little bubble that says, I only hang out with Christians because those are the only people that give the best advice. We're talking about influence here. We're talking about who is pouring into your life. And if it's the fools, it won't be long before you become a fool and start to suffer the same harm as them, start to suffer the same issues and struggles. If you're surrounding yourselves with the wise counsel, you will become wise as well. Thanks so much, Dosers. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us for this Daily Dose. We would love to be able to hear other topics you would like us to cover. Put them in the comments below. And remember, like and subscribe.